And hello. Good evening. It's me. It is that DOGG, and welcome one and all to the award-winning Absolute Football Podcast. Absolutely Premier League, and watch out, because here we come. It's been a while, but we're back in style, so get set to have some fun. We'll bring you action and satisfaction, because we're the Chipmunks, CHIPMUNK. We are the Chipmunks, guaranteed to brighten your day. And when you feel like a laugh, give us a call. We'll give you our all. And if you feel like a song, tune into us and sing right along. Because why, Dan? We're the Chipmunks, coming on stronger than ever before.
Do you know
We're
what? At first,
Chipmunks.
I actually didn't realise what you were singing. And then I thought, oh my God, this guy's just bringing back my childhood.
Yeah. It's Joshy, Hannah, Daniel. There we are. Blast on the past for all the 80s kids out there. You would have thoroughly enjoyed that. But as you can tell, we are the Chipmunks. It is me and it is Hannah. Hannah, how are you this evening? Did you enjoy that cartoon rendition?
It was amazing. It brightened my Monday right up. So thank you so much for that. I'm good. How are you? I thought you'd be emotional after yesterday. Not going to bring it up too soon, but
I'm worn out. I'm emotioned out now. That's
emotionally drained.
That's it. There's no sad left. All the sad is sadded out. Totally sadded, and it's potentially for the last time with his team in this league. It might not be the last time forever, because we all love a little bit of Dan and his rosy red chest that he has at the moment. But Dan, being with us with your team, the last game that you had in the Premier League, how are you doing? How are you feeling this evening?
Yeah, I'm all right. I don't know, quite emotional if it is the last one for another seat for a full season. Anyway, I'm sure I'll still stay around and be around everybody, and it'll be nice. But yeah, it's just one of them. I look at it as I'm taking a year out, a bit like Klopp. I'm taking a year out, and we'll see where it is from there. Yeah, exactly. A gap year.
He's so tired.
I'm like Burnley, mate. I'm on the beach, but we all know where that gets me. So,
are you all out of energy,
mate? I'm not liking wearing any clothing, to be honest, right now, because it's rubbing against my chest hair and it really hurts. So it's very painful.
Oh, my hopeful fruit days! Look at that.
Doesn't help though. Everything went wrong though. Everything went wrong. I thought, right, I'm gonna spruce myself up. I literally bicked my head completely bald. Went to trim my beard. The thing came off, so I ended up having to take it down to lower than what I usually have it. So I ended up looking like Matt Lucas for about 2 or 3 days before the stubble kicked in. And then it's just to top it off, I'll go and get sunburn. So.
Oh. And the irony is, bicked his head, the biggest Austin Powers rug I've ever seen on the chest.
Mate, it's true what they say about gravity. It goes down. It goes down. It went from the top of the head onto the chest. Simple as.
You want to see the knuckles of my feet, I tell you.
4 minutes 17. It was recorded for Simon, who asked earlier. 4 minutes 17 is how long it took for Josh to turn it.
I thought that was quite mild. We only get going. We've only just got going.
That was mild.
but in the chat, yes, Benny fan, boring with Man City within the Premier League again. It is true though, and we'll give them some dues because it's only nice, and we're nice, but only some. But his breaking news, because Spenny fan never comes in empty-handed. Neil Lennon is the new head coach of Rapid Bucharest.
Wow.
I mean, it's the right weather for a man of his complexion. Certainly.
Now, have you seen? Sorry to interrupt. Have you seen? This is confirmed from Fabrizio, so you believe it. Bayern are looking at company.
I know.
That is insane. No disrespect, because he's a great coach, but you have just been relegated.
Exactly.
If you can't hack the Premier League, what's to say you're going to go and be a success in the supposedly the best team in the Bundesliga? Because I couldn't. I thought it was a spoof account. I was like, what?
Yeah, same. I'm like, what am I actually reading here? But this is actually, I'm like, no, that's not Romano, surely. Turns out it is.
That's That's why
If he's going to leave us to go Bayern, could you blame him? I mean,
no, but do you who would you guys get?
I don't know. I don't know.
Neil Lennon's just joined Rapid Bucharest.
Neil Lennon's gone. It wouldn't surprise me if Burnley went back to old school roots and went for someone like David Moyes, and that would pain me.
If they go back for Daishi or someone.
I don't think I'd take him back. Sometimes it's like lightning striking twice. Just I don't know, but
I can't think of
that just shocked me, and I was like, I'm glad I'm on with Dan because what?
Yeah, it's mad, absolute madness. If he goes to Bayern Munich, fair enough. But if he goes to someone like Brighton, where I'm thinking, well, he didn't really do much at Burnley from last season, so what's he going to bring to Brighton?
Yeah,
it's that'd be a bit of a sideways step in a sense.
Anyway, sorry.
I'm mind blown. What? Just what? I mean,
it's a bit like, do you remember a few years ago when Chelsea were literally linked with everybody? I think they were linked with Akin Fenwa. They apparently reportedly after Ashley Barnes from us. And I think quite some time ago, they were linked with every striker that was available for about 5 million. And then nothing ever came of it. It was just rumours. But he's on a list of candidates, isn't there? I mean, how many people have already said no to that Bayern job already? So is there something...
They're not having Ten Hag. He's ours. Stay away. We need another season. Josh,
I agree. You definitely.
Do you know what, Josh? Anyone just to shut you up. I don't want him anyway. But if we get Southgate, you will be insufferable. So Ten Hag all the way.
I know. I'd be laughing.
I don't think I'd come on the show again if we got Southgate. I think I'd have to quit the Absolute Football podcast on the spot. I'm done. I am done.
That would be epic. Oh, don't. I'll be getting your football wet dreams over that.
We're all eagerly awaiting now Arnie Slot. How's he gonna do? Let's talk about this. Liverpool.
Well, I tell you, let me get through who's here, and we'll smash straight into that because I know everybody wants their names dropped. Hello, Heather. Thank you for joining us this evening. So, already said, Chris. Graham appreciated the intro. If you didn't catch it, I sang the Chipmunks for us. I didn't dance as a chipmunk. I sang Chipmunks. It's not quite that show. This is an absolutely after dark. Here's Jen, not yet, and Simon's in with us, and Charlotte's welcoming down already to the Wowdy Wabble in the lower league team. And there's Mr. Luke Alright. Mr. Luke, who was with us on Thursday. If you haven't checked that out, last week's show on Thursday, it is still on YouTube, but it'll be there forever. So feel free to go check that one out, please, after this one. And Jen said Southgate out of England football. Woohoo! Sam saying he said no to the Bayern job because we've signed him up to a lifetime contract. He can't go anywhere. I'd have to do too much editing then. So Sam's sticking with us, not going to Bayern. Simon said as much as he disliked United, he wouldn't wish Southgate on them.
Go on, Simon.
What is that? It's just because you're on hand and you're pretty. I tell you, if he was Sam, he'd be giving it all sorts of mad shit. He'd be like, Southgate all day long. Ah!
Southgate in.
What?
No, Southgate. If speaking of this, I know it's not about that, but it's coming on. If he can't win the Euros with that squad, there is no hope for us ever. As a nation, as a great, well, not so great nation, but there is no hope for us if with that squad he can't win.
No,
he's a massive drag factor, though. Massive drag. It's like you've designed this really slick, beautiful automobile that's like dragging like a massive wind turbine with a tractor on the back of it and a caravan and then like a family of mules and stuff and everything else on the back. That's what you've got with Southgate managing England. I don't know. I mean, Dan, what do you think? Do you think he can do anything at the Euros?
After the way we've performed in the National League, probably not.
God.
I mean, I'm going to watch England play Bosnia at St James's Park next month. I think it's the final game before they go out to the Euros, and I've got a few mates that are going. I don't know why. Clearly, they've got no kids, and they just want time away from the missus. But it is what it is for them. Let them do that. If they'll come back miserable and they'll realise it's not always. It's just a piss up for them. Sod it. That's all it is for England. Just go out there, have a piss up, a bit of football in the background. If we do, I'd be very surprised if we do well in this tournament. Very surprised. But it's like Hannah said, we have the best opportunity now with the current crop of players that are literally shining in form for their clubs. If he doesn't get this to work, then it's never going to work.
The only team that should be in our way is France, and that's it, because their squad is stacked. Like, they've turned Elise away, they've turned some great footballers away from their squad. So, yeah.
I mean, as an England fan, though, it's a nice short break. You don't have to book too much time off work if you're going out there.
I know that's true. There's only one 5 o'clock game, so it's good. But anyway, Premier League. Let's go back to Liverpool, Josh.
Yeah, no, just get some of these comments because this was the best one. Can't wait for the scenes at the Euros with Southgate plays Foden out wide, so Henderson could play in the middle because he loves.
Graham. No jokes here, Graham.
And Jen saying if friends go to Germany for a few games, he's just there for the beer. Well, it's not going to be for the football. And apparently Dan looks better in a waistcoat than Southgate does, especially although he's got to pick the right colour because it'll clash with the red.
Trust me, with the way I shaved my head and shaved my beard, if I were in a waistcoat, I've got more chance of looking like Tyson Fury than Gareth Southgate.
And Spenny fan is going to the Lionesses game at St James versus France. He's looking forward to that. And Mr. Luke is at England as well. You have to start hounding him on Twitter.
It won't be that far travel for Luke, to be fair. From Gateshead way.
Graham tell you jokes are all he has, Han. He supports Charlton. That's it. But what did you want to ask me about Liverpool, like the greatest team there was?
You always ask.
The slut.
That was so funny. You always say to people, "I'm just going to turn the questions on you." What was it? Liverpool 2, Wolves 0. Josh, how did that game make you feel?
Do you know, it was emotional. As a game in itself, it was really weird.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of like everybody knew it wasn't they win. No one was there for the game. And it was almost like the players weren't there for the game, but they knew they had to win the game. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been a bit nasty. As a game, everything I thought played quite well given the circumstances. I mean, Salah, good God in heavens above, was it 78,000 shots, and I couldn't quite figure out what was happening with him, whether he just couldn't be asked, and it's just like, this looks like a nice angle to have a shot at. I'm just gonna have a go from here. I think it was definitely a red card based on standard set so far this year, but the game. I mean, as Graham says here, game was in insignificance. Really, it's nice that we won it. And Sam said, "Can't believe they set Klopp." Shocking. It wasn't quite that. But I mean, it was all about after the game. I mean, and it's just so everybody knows, I'm not going to leather it massively on the Liverpool front this evening. We are doing review shows on on a lot of the teams. We're doing seasons reviews. I don't know if Sam has hit you up for the United one, hand, because I don't know if anyone wants to do it.
It's in the diary. As the obligatory United fan, I'm doing it, and I see silver linings, Josh. You know me.
Well, always silver lining. You are the silver lining.
If you win the FA Cup, I want to do it first. I'll be like, better season than Arsenal.
But it was all about after the game, obviously, and it was just emotional. It was really emotional. I mean, Jen's saying that Trent got her all emotional, and it was. I mean, for Trent, he wasn't in the first team, or he was just on the edge of breaking in.
Just the way, wasn't it?
Yeah, when he came in, and that's all he's known. I think. I mean, how old's Trent now? Like 23, 24, something like that.
Yeah. I thought you were about 26, 27.
Do you know what? I got absolutely no idea. So I'm going to try and.
You know what? Meet in the middle is 25.
25.
Yeah. Oh, he was like, who's quickest to Google that?
so that means he would have been 17. I think 1, 2, 3,
Wow.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 17 when Klopp, which is young, and that's pretty much all of his adult life. He's been his manager, and there's a lot of players like that in the team, and it was really emotional for me. Like in particular, my boy was born like 3 days before Klopp was announced our manager. I watched his first game against Spurs, a 0-0 draw, with my little boy sitting on my lap, and we watched the last one together as well on the weekend, which is really lovely. And that's what it is a generational thing for us. So that was quite emotional. But like Klopp said at the end, I love the way that he dealt with it, and he said, this isn't an ending, this is a new beginning, this is a new start. And I thought, what a man, what a bloke. Because you could have, if it was me, I would have been standing there going like, yes, Josh, with all these people chanting your name and singing it. You could have just really milked that. And, you've seen people sort of say, for the future, support the team, get behind it. But then, it was their moment. But he wasn't like that at all. I mean, I don't know if you saw, like, there was a big portion of it, which was what we've done for the future, where we're going to go get behind, with his his absolutely, pissed after a Saturday night chant of his Lord. Woo!
I saw a video earlier. Someone's actually put that audio to Sloth from the Goonies. So as it sort of pans to him, it just goes, oh, Sloth. I'm just like,
I'm waiting for someone to do it, to like when someone's stumbling in, hammered through the front door, like, that's what I was expecting to happen. But I thought that was really nice. It was really good to see that. And like you said, there's a lot of promise. I mean, I don't know if you watched Harvey Elliott, who's superb. He was absolutely brilliant. I mean, Kwanzaa in defence has been like an absolute baller. I think he scored 2 in like 3 or 4 games now. I think it's been that I've watched him. I mean, Trent's like still 25. Kanate's still quite young. You got Connor Bradley coming through this young. I mean, like McAllister and Szoboszlai is still quite young players. There's a lot of youth in that team. That's quite excited about the future. So it was an emotional roller coaster. But I mean, what I will say for any, I've been biting unnecessarily on Twitter, which would shock you all. You'll always be shocked to know I was biting unnecessarily at people on Twitter, because it's understanding that the context around it, because people say, oh, he's only won one Premier League. Well, sorry, in that period of time, how many managers have won the Premier League? Because it's like 2.
Yeah, I was going to say 2.
Yeah, how many managers in that period of time have won more trophies than Jurgen Klopp? There's one. How many managers in the Premier League have won more Champions Leagues than Jurgen Klopp? There aren't any. How many managers have had a better win percentage than Jurgen Klopp in that period of time? There's one. And, of all Premier League history, how many managers have averaged a higher points per game total than Jurgen Klopp? And there's 2. There's Pep and Sir Alex. That's it. So to try and diminish it to one Premier League just shows a massive ignorance and lack of understanding and education around what football is in the Premier League at the time, where they've been setting points records, have been set 3-4 times in that 8-year period. So to achieve victory, you need to be more perfect than you've ever had to be playing football before, up against the juggernaut that is Man City. And even if whether they've broken financial rules or not, the fact is they've had tremendous financial backing like no other team has experienced, and not just wages and transfer fees, but facilities. I mean, Pep said himself, when he was talking about Klopp at the end, he said, and I appreciate Jurgen's words for me, but paraphrasing, he said, I've got City behind me that gives me everything that I need. Anything that he wants, he's got it. There's no restrictions and there's no constraints there. So to battle up against that is very admirable, and to be where he's been and to achieve what he's achieved from the Liverpool side that he took over and where we were to where we are, I think it's just remarkable. And that's why I've been biting so much, because it's the stupidity and the lack of understanding and the lack of appreciation of football and what the Premier League is now. I mean, that's what I think, and we'll come on to Arsenal, but like Arteta, there's a good grounding for people to be really proud of what Arsenal have achieved, because to be keeping pace with this juggernaut all the time, and to like lose as little games and to win as many and to score as many and to concede as few is remarkable. And that's the era that we're in. So you have to be better than you've ever needed to be before to appreciate it. But yeah, it was one of them. I mean, what we'll make it a little bit of a sort of a pleasure sandwich. So we've had that sort of emotion with lots of happiness at the same time as a bit of upset. But let's get it out of the way. Let's get it all done. Burnley won. Nottingham Forest 2. Dan, how does it make you feel?
Just glad that it's over, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's been painful. It's been tough to watch at times. We've been very naive. We've got a squad of kids. We've not been that team that we used to be, of having a mix of Premier League quality amongst players that helped get you up. We literally started afresh with our team sheet. Lots of things that need to change for me. Yes, we are in a healthier position going down this time than we were the last, because we had a lot of players out of contract and had to rebuild pretty much a fresh new squad. Then obviously there's the company question marks at the moment that's being bandied around. Personally, if he's got anything about him, and he's apparently got a vision and he's got a philosophy of what he wants to achieve, then he sticks with what he wants to do. He should be looking at certain managers that he's played alongside or played against, like Xabi Alonso, going, yeah, okay, well, no, I'm going to stick it out here. No, I'm going to make sure I can try and repeat that same job. Let's just see. Next season will be interesting, but the base of the game, Forest, I don't think have won at Turf Moor since early 2000s. It's just been the story of our season. It's not been a happy place at all this season. Fortress Turf Moor has not been a fortress. It's been a red carpet event for every single away team. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. We've been poor. We've got to admit it. We've got to own up to it. But I also agree with company. That's it. It's over with now. You park it. Already, the preparation starts for next season. And what will be come this time again next year. Back here, sat here again, celebrating. Yay.
And there's a bit of love off Sam. Wherever you go, whatever you do, Dan, we'll be right here waiting for you. Whatever it takes or how your heart breaks, we'll be right here waiting for you. It's just beautiful. Beautiful words there. Exactly. I mean, out of interest, I don't know if anybody knows this, because I was told parachute payments had stopped. Is that real? Is that something that's been suspended, or is it just some bollocks someone told me?
I'm not sure. I know that it was being spoken about being stopped, but whether it actually did, I'm not too sure. But either way, yes, we'll probably get something for going down, but all we'll get for going down is what we've earned from our final Premier League position. We won't see anything from a parachute payment if we go straight back up. If anything, the money from that parachute payment will go to the other clubs in the Championship and below. So they should really be thanking us if we do go back up next season, because then it's us basically giving them the free money that we would have been entitled to. So
it's a
tough one. It is a tough one.
Jen's saying, yeah, apparently there has something. Yeah, there's been a change in there.
All right, fair dues. If it is, so be it. I think.
I don't understand that if it is, though.
No,
because
I don't, because it just helps teams go back up again. If anything, if you get relegated, you get relegated because you've not been good enough. Simple as that. The Championship is going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough place. Some good teams in there. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm sort of understand the parachute payment to a degree, because it allows you to invest and take that risk to stay in the Premier League, which is what we want. So by getting rid of that, it's just bizarre, because you're telling the teams, if you take the chances, you're on your head, me old cocker. And I'm not. It's not very nice, is it? But I mean, any nice memories? I don't know. Did you get to go to any nice grounds? That would have been lovely.
I went to South London, watch us against Crystal Palace. Not nice ground, complete opposite.
Oh, a nice
South
city, really.
South London's just honestly, it makes there's a town not far from Burnley called Nelson, and it made that look like Dubai. Honestly,
Really?
South London is horrendous. You know, right? You know it's bad when you're on the coach on the way back. You've left the game 10 minutes before it ended because the result was just crap, but it were a day out. And people are going, "Oh my god, the houses around here are worse than where we live." And I'm thinking, hold on, these houses are about £1 million. And I said, somebody would pay 400 grand a month, to live in that skip outside that house. And then where we were stuck in traffic, there were a house with like purple lights coming out of it, and the curtains were open by about this much, and you could see a ring light facing towards a bed. And we're all thinking, "Oh,
Nice.
something's going on here."
Something's occurring.
As we pulled a bit further, the next door, there is about a 8-9-year-old kid with a glass up against the wall. And you could see it from the window. And that's probably the only highlight I have got of this season of seeing this little South London kid with a glass up against it, trying to hope for a fresh scoop on
If
what's
you're
happening.
watching, kid, what a legend.
You know what? I was lucky I say lucky. I was unfortunate to come across some magazines in my time as a kid that you see on the floor and stuff like that, just walking about. But this guy took it to a whole new level. He's thinking, my dad probably knows this neighbour. I've met this neighbour twice, but I don't care. I glass to the wall and everything. He was the little lad in his element. He was having more fun with a glass against the wall than I had watching 90 minutes of football. Let's put it that way, okay?
I'm really worried. There's an edge, and I'm thinking, oh my god, he's skating on it.
Dan's really getting the dirt in for his last Premier League show.
Why not?
Like, I'm going to take you all down with me.
You know how bad it is, though, when that's the only positive you can really think of.
Do you remember what the score was?
I think we got beat 3-0. We had Josh Brownell sent off after about 4 minutes.
You know that's bad if that was the days of Roy, if that was under Ollie Glasner.
Oh, no, it was Ollie Glasner's first game in charge.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. That was quite recently then.
The whole day was a shambles. Like, the coach, to get us there, we set off at like 6:30 in the morning. I'm rough from the night before because it was my little sister's 18th, which I told myself I won't drink because I'm going on a coach in the morning. That never happened. So I'm rough. My mate's telling me I'm a letdown because I'm not drinking on the coach until I'd at least eaten. And then we didn't get to the game until like 10 minutes after kickoff, which probably was the strongest bit of play, but I probably didn't see Burnley have. But we actually managed a clean sheet in that 10 minutes, and I missed it.
I tell you what, that's out of interest, because I think something that all three of us have in common. I mean, as a Welshman and as Northerners, my experience is we're quite friendly people.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think it's sort of the same. When I've been up in North, I've been in like Rochdale and Oldham and all of those sort of areas. If you walk down the street and say hello to somebody, they typically say hello back or like smile or acknowledge you. Did you find in London, if you see somebody, you go, all right, they're like, I'm gonna stab you in the face. Did you hear that?
Yeah. 100%.
Strange.
Do I know you, blood? Whoa, sorry, mate. I only said hello. Is that a punishable crime here?
I always remember. I mean, it was my first day when I went to university in the Midlands, in the city of the Midlands, and I walked on, and I'm used to in the valleys. You say hello to everybody. Say hello, all right, mate. All right, how you doing? Do all of that jazz, and everybody just talks back. And like my wife, when she first came down, I was like, "Do you know him? No. Do you know him? No. So why are you saying hello?" Manners, just common courtesy. I think the first I walked into university,
but Midlands are too friendly. Midlands are too friendly.
I found the opposite because I don't know whether he was a university student from somewhere, but I just said, "Hi, are you all right?" He's like, "You trying to start something?" I'm like, "No, I'm really not. I'm just trying to be nice." But yeah, just different. Will Kate's dropping you, and you slept most of the way there. According to your friend, I did the same on the way back. So this story that you're telling us is just a dream that you had. Kate, he's dreaming about little
No,
boys.
on the way
listening
there,
to
I
stuff going
slept.
in
On the
another
way back, I didn't. The guy who was telling me I was a letdown on the way back fell asleep. So, you know,
Luke's enjoying your season review. Thinks it's incredible, and Chris agrees. London, the multiple times been in, it is an experience. That's how I say we're very friend. It got better. I'm like localish in Coventry. I lived there for like 6 years.
see,
So,
when you said Midlands, I was thinking you were talking like Birmingham and stuff like that.
Kate's dropping you in it there, mate.
Oh, it's all right. I'd be lucky to even have sleep these days, let alone dreams, especially with this sunburn. I ain't sleeping for shit.
But so we've
duvet?
done sort of that with Liverpool. We've come down to Dan's Burnley season. We'll go up because Hannah, United won a game of football and the season's finished.
We got a clean sheet away from home. I was
Against Brighton as well.
What's one of them?
I was shocked.
It's Brighton nil,
I'm
United
actually
2.
really annoyed because my season review, the times I did go to Old Trafford this season, I haven't seen us win all season. And last season I went to like 8 games and we won all of them. And this season I've not been to as many. I think I've been to 5, and 3 losses and 2 draws at Old Trafford. So I'm not happy. I couldn't believe we won that because I'll be frank, we shithoused that win because we were pretty bad the first half, usual, like terribly disorganized football. And then second half, we looked better. Brighton, not unfortunately, it's not unfortunate, but Brighton didn't take the chances. And then it's always nice for me when Højlund scores a goal. Everyone gives him stick, but he's actually not had a bad season. I think please don't quote me on this because I'm not entirely sure. I think it's 18 goals and assists, which isn't bad for your first season and a really crap team that don't service you.
Context
matters. I think next year he'll be getting 30 goals, assists. I think, if we bring in the striker, he'll be fine. It's just sums up our season. It's been crap, 60 points, worst finish ever. I mean, to be fair, we finished on less points before, but finished higher. So it does show, obviously, and we all do know the standard around us in the Premier League is just always getting higher and higher. But I'm actually glad. If you'd have told me 6 months ago Chelsea were going to finish ahead of us, I'd have had a meltdown. But I'm glad that they're going to be playing Europa League football and potentially Conference League if we win the FA Cup. And we're having a season out of Europe. I think we need it. And I can't wait as much as everyone loves playing in Europe, I can't wait to have a season out and know that we're playing once a week and we're not going to, if the injuries come out, we know that it's literally not the amount of games we're playing or it's just purely training and our shite medical department. But it's been a really funny season because we've had obviously terrible results, so many losses, but the highs have been super high this season, so it's quite difficult to say that it's terrible. Like, sorry, Josh, not to bring it up again, but Liverpool didn't beat us once, which for us right now is a big deal. We beat them in the 119th minute in the FA Cup. Like, that was magical. Sorry, Josh, again. There's been some really amazing moments. I don't know if anyone remembers, it was in August. Brentford were winning 1-0 in the 89th minute. And then we go and win 2-1. Like, there's been some great games and there's been some great moments, but in general, it's just been terrible. And I hope there's a lot of players that need to go out this summer. And it's actually the first summer in a long time where I'm going into it feeling quite confident. Obviously, we've got new owners. I think they've had enough time now to see who is the dead wood and who isn't. Simon needs to let it go. Graham, you are correct. I'm just reading that. Yeah, you do need to let that go. But yeah, if we can win the FA Cup, I won't whinge about us until next season.
Heather's been enjoying a good Bournemouth season this year.
I know that's so true. We couldn't even beat Bournemouth. That just shows. But then we go and do the double over Villa. That Boxing Day game at Old Trafford, we were 2-0 down, then we win 3-2. Like, there's been some amazing games and some amazing moments, but in general, you look at it and you think, how can we do the double over Villa, but then we can't beat Bournemouth? Or it's been a really weird season.
It has. I don't want to massively spoiler your United review season, but I do have some questions I'm interested in because I might not get the opportunity to ask because Sam might be hosting that when he might go all United, so you could all revel together. But just in the chat, Claire is joining us, and you can tell she's at work because she said flipping. So I'm assuming someone might be supervising if she's using the word flipping as opposed to what I would normally expect. And she said it's better to be able to view up in the Papa Juan Trophy, which I quite like. And there's a couple of points I wanted to ask because again, I don't know if Sam's going to, and I'm really interested from a United perspective. I mean, the first one is something that both Simon's touched on there. FA Cup final as a Spenny fan, and I mean, and Graham's echoed what I think he said off camera. You could have a better season than Arsenal if you win the FA Cup. But FA Cup, are you gonna score a goal or just concede them all?
Like this is the thing. It's the hope that kills you. You know, I've seen pictures of Jack Grealish and Erling Haaland crawling out of a club in Manchester at 6 o'clock this morning, absolutely twatted. So hopefully, you know, that gives us. It's not going to give us an advantage, but you think it's one game. If you've learned anything from last year, you'll just give it a fucking shot. Like they're so quick, and I know I'm biased, but our fans this season, if you've watched any of our games, especially away, considering how we've played, they are incredible fans. Like yesterday at Brighton, even when we lost 4-0 at Crystal Palace, and they were still there, like singing. Like the players don't deserve the fans that we have, and you just think it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. You know, it's neutral territory. Just go for it. That's all we ask. And yes, it's going to be hard. And yes, it's 99-1. And you know, it's going to be a tough watch, but you know, if we can do things like beat Liverpool, if we can have those magic moments in the season, why can't we for one more time? And I'll be upset if we don't win, but they've not tried. This is their game to show us we respect you as fans. We're sorry we've had a shit season. Let's bring in the FA Cup home because it's for a second year in a row. If we go and like get bent over, it's embarrassing. And you know, again, we could stop. Last year, we could have stopped them from winning the treble. We couldn't, and this year we can stop them from winning a double. Like they should be all over that. So I don't trust them. I don't think we'll win. But if we do, like I think everyone loves to hate United, but I think everyone will secretly be a bit like that's good for football. Like if United can win that, because City are just. Everyone's bored of them. I'm bored.
Even me, I would rather United win it than. I mean, I've got a horrible feeling it's going to be the same as the last FA Cup. I think Foden's going to score in like minute 2 or 3.
13 seconds. I'll be like,
I genuinely, I think in like the first 3 minutes, Foden's going to score, and then it's just all going to go to cock, and it's just going to be like another. Because last year's FA Cup final was crap. I mean, City just
wasn't it? Yeah.
Something like that, but it was just boring for such large periods because they were just playing boring City ball and just stroked it out. The other question I wanted to ask was I've been watching some interviews with oh my god, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I'll want to get the last name in then. If you get that reference, I do apologise. He's unnerved me a little bit in some of the interviews in that, I mean, what he's done so far has sort of made sense, putting good people into good places, ready to set up the structure. But some of his comments around things, around the stadium mainly, where he's talking, it sounds very much like somebody who doesn't understand football when he's saying we need a stadium in the north, you know, that we need this regeneration out here. Why can't it be us, you know, because we should have this and this money should come and investing in here. And then he's talking about how the bulk of his time is going to be in the business part of his business and not in the football side. It sounded very much like he's trying to run the club a bit like FSG do with Liverpool, to try and make it a business that is self-sustaining rather than improving the football side of things. It sounded very hands-off of that. I mean, have you picked up on any of that? And how are you feeling at the moment?
It's really hard because we've had 10, 15 years of the Glazers who literally never speak to the press, and we never know what they're thinking. And then, you know, they go and splash money irresponsibly in the summer. We get notoriously bent over. So it's really hard to, I completely get what you're saying, Josh, and like you make a really good point, but I'm trying not to judge him until we've had at least this summer. It will, what he does in the summer will like prove to me if they're serious or not. So things that are important to me right now, things like getting rid of players that are on £300,000 a week and that aren't doing anything. And as upset as I am, for example, I'm glad really Varane's contract's not been renewed. The next thing they need to do is they need to sell Sancho, they need to sell Mason Greenwood, they need to sell these players that, quite frankly, don't deserve to play for us. So I get what you're saying, Josh, and it's really hard for me. I don't want to sit here and be like, yeah, it worries me, or no, he's going to be amazing, because we don't know yet. And, you know, I said to you when he acquired that 25% stake, it's better than nothing for us, and it's all we've got, and we're just going to have to see. But the summer for me is really going to dictate. I'm just going to be so interested to see what we're spending on players and what we're letting players go for, because he's basically come in and said no more overspending, no more getting, you know, we got 10, I think we got 12 mil for Anthony Elanga. Like, what? So hopefully, if I see some serious business, I'll trust the process a lot more. But the other thing, like as embarrassing as it is, I'm glad that all of this stuff with like the Old Trafford and the stadiums come to light this season, because we've been saying for years and years and years, we need a new stadium, and like, no, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's broke. It's broke. It's Niagara Falls. So I'm kind of glad in a way all that's happened. So hopefully, I mean, apparently a lot of people have said, I think Jim Ratcliffe's like, he's like mid-70s, and he wants to just crack on and get all this done before he dies. So hopefully he's just like, right, new stadium, blah, 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 whatever he decides, I'm here for. But Josh, I have to be optimistic. We have to.
No, I sort of, in a perverse way for a Liverpool fan, I want a stronger Man United.
Yeah, it's more fun. It makes everything more, like, it makes the league more exciting. Like,
I mean, I want you competing in the top 5. No more. I don't want any more pressure on Liverpool, please. But it's not nice at the moment, and I think, I hate myself for saying it. I think United fans deserve a bit of a break, because it's not been nice. The way the club has been run and you've been treated by your ownership is horrible.
I'm 25 and I can't, I mean, I can a bit, but I can't really remember a time, especially not in my adult life, where it's been a pleasure to support United. Like, it's been hell.
And you make me feel really old now.
Sorry. I'm just saying, since the last time we won the Premier League, I was 13. Like, 14, I wasn't like it. It was, yes, it was in my lifetime, but it's not memories that I've got recently. No. And I'm not saying, you know, we've not done anything, but really we haven't done anything. And when you've got City doing 4p, it's like, piss off, like just go away, like, please. So thank you for being an unbiased Liverpool fan for 5 seconds.
No. It hurts me to say it, but I'm a rational human being.
It's nice of you to say, because like I agree, and obviously if I ever say that, it's, oh well, you're just saying that, you're a United fan, of course you want good times, but we just deserve to like at least sign a player that works out and does really well and like shocks everyone. Like, there's nothing more I'd love than to sign an older striker and for him to come and bag like 30 goals like first season, gets us into a really good spot. Like, we don't have Europe, so we've not got the excuse now for, oh, they're going to be knackered next season. No, there's no excuses now. Ten Hag, I love him, but you'll know like he needs to go when I go, enough's enough, because I've like defended him through thick and thin. But if he can't have a successful season next season, his 3rd summer, and no Europe, there's no hope. And I want Tuchel, maybe. Or Ancelotti, depends who's available.
I mean, and you're answering Graham's question then, so it just depends what you're waiting on the next season then.
Yeah, I think give him another summer, see how he goes on under the new structure. I'm not going to be so optimistic to say, you know, we're going to challenge for the league or we're going to come second, because the league every year gets harder and harder, as we've just established. But to go from 3rd and a trophy to 8th, and yes, we're in a final, but it's just not really. It's like 7 steps back. So we'll see. I like to be optimistic. Watch this space. Don't quote me on anything.
And Sam's with you. He just wants to see some heart in there.
Right.
And Mr. Luke thinks of the iconic stadium. And Graham tries to keep quiet because Sam was saying when whatever happened Saturday, he's watching the United documentary, which he was 12 when that happened. And
if you haven't seen that, even if you're not a United fan, watch it, because honestly, it will, if anything, just shows you how like the fall from grace we've had. But oh my god, it's really interesting. Give it a watch. It's only 3 parts.
It is good. And Graham, I'm not going to read your name out for the audio fans. You have to watch on YouTube. I'm not going to age shame you because everybody does this to me on this podcast. In Simon's context, he's comparing to Red and Southend. It's context.
Simon's really got Simon's really angry about Man United. Like, I'm sorry we probably ruined your childhood or whatever, but just sorry, Simon.
It's all context, I think, because you can't compare Southend with Man United because they're different places, different teams, and context. I'm all about context. That's like my buzzword at the moment. We'll fleetingly touch on Man City because they did win the Premier League. Well done.
Cricket.
That's
more people were watching the Klopp stream than their trophy.
That's because there's more Liverpool fans that exist and nobody cares. City's made it's a bit like I said, PSG in Liga. They've spoilt it. You've spoiled that top bit. And don't get me wrong, and I do want to give some credit. It is an achievement to have created, like I said earlier, regardless of the finances, to have been able to create that still takes some doing. You can throw money at things and you don't mean to be a git, but if you look at United and Chelsea, you can throw money at things and it not work. So to be able to build that, you need that good coach. So however you've done it, is being done, and it is quite an incredible achievement to create. As I said, in Pep's reign, I think Jurgen Klopp's the only other manager to have won the Premier League, which over a 38 game season, that it's very admirable. But well done. Credit where credit's due. Well done, Man City. But
I think for City, like, it's really hard for me because the whole injustice of these charges really, really annoys me, and it's not really anything to do with being a United fan. It's just the injustice of it, and you see what's happening to Everton and Forest, and I know it takes longer because it's a lot more serious and blah blah blah, but it's just crazy to me how they're still going on to win. But like you say, you can't discredit them because any team that wins the Premier League deserves to win it because it's a marathon, not a sprint. And the marathon's the hardest bit, is getting up. And every single year we see after Christmas, they just go on this crazy unbeaten run. And that is some mentality. Like, as much as I hate it, it is. And that's the charges, as much as there'll be an asterisk next to everything they win until they're cleared or not. That's not on the players. They can only go out and do what they can. And they do. They perform for that manager. And
it's not fair for the fans either, though, really, is it, to have that? Because, don't get me wrong. I don't know if it's just my Twitter feed, but I haven't seen a rational man. Well, tell a lie. I've seen one rational Man City fan whose name escapes me.
God, how can I find these?
He's a real one because he's actually got his face in his little circle thing as well. And
if I could Timu or something.
Oh, do you know what? If I could think of his name, I would say it because he is quite rational and you can speak to him. I think he's still there's their club bias there, but he's not like a lunatic. Because a lot of the City accounts I see are just mentals who just say silly things. But it must be quite hard because that is your rebuff to everything, no matter what your achievements are. That's people are in on that straight away, which it's not fair as a football fan. And again, look at me. I'm just being so rational this evening. I want love for United and City fans as well.
This is the thing that does annoy me. If I know people talk about it and you say everything they say, it's 115 blah blah blah. But if honestly, Josh, as a Liverpool fan, I'm thinking this as a United fan, as a Liverpool fan, if this was the other way around, if Liverpool were winning all of this and they had all these charges, or if United were winning 4 back-to-back and had all these charges, you would honestly never hear the end of it. The pundits are all too scared to talk about it. The only pundit that I've heard mention it is Ian Wright. And I commend him for that because he's the only one that does it. And it's no one would every single headline, every single day would be about Liverpool are cheats, Man United are cheats. So I feel I get what you're saying, but they are just allowed to carry on as normal. And as soon as it's cleared, I'd rather it just be cleared than this carry on, because it's frustrating, because you think none of this is legit. If they clear it and it's proved like fair enough, I'll give them their dues. But if it does, because there's no smoke without fire, like you don't just get 115 charges just because it's fun. So if it is proved to be right, like everything that we've said for the last however many 2 years, they deserve to be discredited for everything they've won. So it's hard.
I don't think all of it, the majority of it, in fairness, predates Pep, and that was a lot of argument I've been saying this from you. But it's that foundation that has been built. That was built, and it's a difficult one, because I do struggle a bit, because those rules were brought in to try and what they should have been brought in is to try and stop clubs ruining themselves. And to create some of a level playing field, but primarily to stop a club ruining itself and being run responsibly and sustainably. Which, I mean, Man City are being run responsibly, sustainably, in that their owners have that money. It's not like they're going to go into debt all of a sudden. And at that point in time, that was the only way you can. Somebody put a tweet up about the last Man City team before they took over, and it's rubbish.
That.
Yeah, don't get I say, Michael Johnson, Martin Petrov was in it, Mika Richards, who else was in there? Richard Dunn. It was that era of a team, and you think there's no way on God's green earth that team would ever have built itself up to this without that finances. And it was nice to have a different team in, but if we're going to go to create a sort of level playing field, then you need to actually enforce it. You can't just say words. And I mean, Brandon, the company to Bayern Munich, we did cover that. And
Josh,
there
has been a tweet, another tweet by Fabs 15 minutes ago, basically reposted his own tweet of the Vincent Kompany thing with a red circle, an arrow, and the eye emoji.
Imagine if this happens,
FC
my
Bayern
head will fall off.
Oh my days!
Yeah, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. That wasn't on my bingo card.
Oh my days!
I think they would have Southgate before Kompany.
Well, let's be fair. Bayern Munich
there's
recently,
desperation, Hannah, and then there's
they signed Eric Dyer.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll put that out there. So but
that's actually insane.
Sorry. I mean, but we'll quickly, because I did only just realize the time, and Jesus wept. So what I wanted to do, there's two things I wanted to achieve this year. I mean, let's give Arsenal their dues. And I think, as a Liverpool fan, and Lucas, this is for you. Unfortunate Arsenal, but really well played throughout the season. I mean, like I said, 91 goals scored, 29 conceded, so a goal difference of 62 is quite remarkable.
We couldn't relate. -1.
So,
I definitely can't relate, so I'll just stay out the argument.
That is super impressive. I didn't think it was that many. That's
they've played some really good football really consistently, and I'm hoping. I mean, it won't do, because a lot of fans are just lunatics, and I've actually had to go on a blocking spree, a muting spree of some Arsenal fans today, because they don't understand yet that to beat that City team, perfection is where you need to be. And
they got like, their season was over when they got beat by Villa, and to let Villa do the double over, honestly, I know it's ifs and buts, but even if they'd won one of those games, they'd have won. So they can't be losing 2-0 at home to Villa.
That's it, and that's what the league is, and that's what I was saying with Klopp's achievements. Hopefully, in a couple of, I would like to think rational fans in a couple of years' time will be able to appreciate that's how good he was. The fact that he was able to challenge year in, year out for so many years at that level, because it's bloody hard. But Mikel Arteta, I mean, Dan, are you keeping Arteta for how many seasons? If he goes another trophyless season, but challenging in this way, how are you giving him more time?
Arsenal, it's that thing with football, isn't it? You've got to be careful what you wish for. And the thing is with Arteta, they've been saying trust the process for years. it's only now that they've come so close. Can they use that? Can they use what's just happened this season and think, right, look how close we are. Next season, we need to be on it. Like, we literally need to be on it. If next season they are, say doing a Chelsea, and literally just fall off off the face of the earth a little bit, then you think, how? There's always going to be question marks at Arsenal. I think Arsenal always the Arsenal fan base especially seem to think that they are bigger than what they are.
Yeah. They've forgotten when they last won the Premier League.
I think they're just still on that high from the Invincible season. Think that they should be invincible, that they should be everything, and that's not the case. They've got to realise that they've got to come back down to earth. Yeah, exactly. They've got to be knocked down to earth, and this season, hopefully, they'll think, "Oh, we were close, but maybe we are starting to, turn the tide a little bit." It's a tough question, that, Josh. I think if you asked like Lucas or like that, then
I think I've spoken
I'd
to
be
Lucas
interested to see what he'd say on that.
I think I spoke to him last, and his sort of view was next season really there needs to be a title or a trophy of some descript. I mean, what he said was if they could get to a final of a cup and challenge for the league again so deep, he'd be happy. But if they sort of fall short again but don't even get to a final, he's sort of feeling that it's a
that
long.
I can understand.
But I mean, how about you, Han? Would you be sticking for Arteta for another couple of seasons? Would you give him one more, or what would your expectations be?
I think, like you say, like context really matters, and if you're going to talk about getting rid of a manager, you do naturally think, and you should be thinking, who's coming in that's going to be better. And right now in the current market, no one. I think next season's going to be really interesting because Ancelotti's going to be moving around. Probably Xabi Alonso is going to be moving around. Like, there's going to be, I think, a lot of movement next season. There's a lot of managers with a year left on the contract. I think Ten Hag probably, well, depending on his results, he'll be moved on next season. So United will be looking for a manager. So I think give him another season, but like they really need to be pushing for Champions League. Like, I know we all banter them, but the fact that they've never won a Champions League is insane. Like, how can they be expected to be taken seriously? With the squad that they've got, if they, if they're not getting far in the Champions League, but they're pushing for the title, like, I know it's swings and roundabouts in games, but how does that work? Like, you need to be, at least in the semi-finals of the Champions League, winning an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup. Like, I don't think he's doing enough right now, but obviously, like you say, it's really hard when you're against Man City, financial doping or not, like they're, like you say, a juggernaut. And I do feel for managers that come up against them, because you look at the City pool era, sorry to say it again, Josh, but like Liverpool won once, and it's like all the amount of times they were that close by 1 point, goal difference. And that's the thing that shows the weakness. Like you say, when you're losing at home to Villa, how can you expect to go and win the title? So they need to be probably invincible next season to win it, and they should have got it in them. Like, every year they get closer and closer. If I was an Arsenal fan now, like, I'd be getting a bit frustrated, because it's like another season, like literally when it's a grasp, literally 2 points. Like, you think about how often points are dropped and picked up, and VAR decisions that go against you and change the trajectory of those 2 points. Like, it's one of them. But I think give him another season, because there's no one else out there right now that could take on the Arsenal team and do as good a job as he's doing in regards to challenging. And I think as well, Pep's going to go next season. I think he'll do one more. I think Pep and Haaland will be out the door from City next season. So I think there'll be a lot of changes. We can hope.
Listen, so many exciting things this evening. This is such an erotic show. You got Dan talking about his stories.
Watch his face. You heard it here first, guys.
Oh,
I mean, we can hope, but I think all my point is, I think next season in the management market is going to be a lot of movement. So maybe then, but not this season. Like, there's no point. And he's made some great signings. Like, I'm sorry, I was the first one to hold my hands up to laugh at the Kai Havertz signing. He's been one of their best players. Like, Declan Rice, I know he was a lot of money, but you kind of have to look at it and think, he's kind of worth that money. Like he's been the difference for them. And unfortunately, obviously, Timber's been injured for so long. But his first few games, like you think, yeah, they've made some good signings. So give him a bit of time. But yeah, definitely next season, if he's another season trophyless, like he's gone. He should be gone.
I mean, and Simon's saying about like the period of time to give managers what he's referencing to, and I think, but again, it's for me, it's a little bit of that context. Like if he keeps challenging for the league, but he's also starts bringing in challenging for cups, then I would just keep him around until something starts to fall off, because it's that context. But if we have a season where City drop off, Arne Slot doesn't work out particularly well at Liverpool, which I'm not jinxing at all.
How are you feeling about
awesome.
that? Think he'll be good?
I don't know. Because how do you judge?
It's going to be fun to see.
How do you judge the Dutch league?
No, he's inheriting a decent squad, especially if Trent stays. Do you think Trent will stay?
Oh yeah, at least 2 seasons. He's got what's he got to leave for?
Real Madrid.
He wants to go to Real Madrid.
Oh, no one wants to go there.
Boring league. No, I think he'll do another season or 2, probably 2 seasons. I imagine 27 in his prime. You'll still have a good 5 years at the top level. That's what I think he'll move.
And he'll still have 1 Premier League.
You never know. You don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, Josh, I'm just winding you up for the last time this season.
But I genuinely don't know how he's going to work. I mean, Graham thinks he'll slot right in.
Great.
But I genuinely don't know. His style of play is good. What he did at Feyenoord was good. He played some good football. He had him competing. He won cups there. He won the league, which, I mean, it's a competitive league for different reasons in Holland. So it's not that easy to win. But I don't know. I really don't know.
We have 3 bald managers. We've got Pep, Ten Hag, and Slot. Right. What a time to be alive.
Nothing wrong with the Baldies. We're good people. But I mean, so just 2 quick things to try and wrap us out the Premier League. I mean, at Chelsea, I think I saw the comment. It's crazy for Chelsea. They want their manager out. I know they were in European football. I mean, Han, do you think he's turned a corner, Poch, or is it just because it's at the end of the season?
As a Chelsea fan, I won't be happy with that. Like, I know that they've pulled it back this season. I mean, but it's only been the last 2-3 months. I cannot believe, I can't wrap my head around, even as a United fan, the amount of money they've spent and where they were sitting in 10th. I looked at this; it was for like 70% of the year they've been sat in 10th. Like, when you've spent that much money, that is criminal. And might be a hot take, but I think they look so much better without Enzo Fernandez. So much better. Or either that, or they're not. Poch isn't using him right when he does use him, but without him, they look better. But I wouldn't be happy. The only thing I'd be happy with is the signing of Cole Palmer, and that's it.
Bargain as well.
And what?
Bargain,
yeah. Fair. And did you see that Caicedo goal at the weekend? I hate to say it, but that was...
I didn't know.
It was
what a finish.
Put it this way, Josh. It was the last game of the season, and it got put up for goal of the season. It was from the halfway line, just like perfectly. It was a good goal. You need to watch that. But
I'll have to.
Chelsea, I think Chelsea should still be pretty... What have they got? 6th, maybe 7th if we win.
6. Yeah, well, there is 6 in the
FA Cup just so they get Conference League and Newcastle get knocked out. That would be so funny. Sorry, I'll be mature. But yeah, Chelsea all in all this season have been really disappointing. If it wasn't for that, amazing last 10 games, they would be mid-table, kind of close to United. But yeah, I don't think a great season for what they've spent. And Poch in.
And I mean, Heather was blaming Neto for that goal. Graham's loving it as well. Simon didn't think any manager could do a good job at Chelsea. I agree. I think the way that the club's run is a little bit mental.
Just playing Football Manager, and they've just signed I can't remember his name. They've just signed another player for 55 million.
I
Doesn't join
did
until
see.
next season, not the season. That's the season after.
Because
So
he'll be really good then.
and again, another 8-year contract. Like I thought they were going to stop doing that. But I think surprisingly, they look better with, like, for example, players like Kukurea. He improved towards the end of the season. So I don't know what happened in the dressing room, but I think it was that shift in mentality. But generally, I think that they've had a really bad season.
I mean, in a word, Pochettino out.
In. Because again, though, like, we jest, but who else are they going to get? If he has any sense, Tuchel would not go back to them, especially after like the way he left. I know it was all up in arms with Roman Abramovich and all that, but he should stay far clear. So again, like, who else are these clubs going to go for?
I've got no words for what's going on at Chelsea. I mean, and the last one
is a neutral.
It's been funny. I mean, and the main reason I like it. I mean, incidentally, Graham loves your shithousery with winning the FA Cup.
Oh, great! Made me so well.
But, I mean, what? I'm not like a big boaster as a football fan. I think I'm too mature for it. Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen enough. I'm old, so I've been through very highs and very lows. So I just know if you start boasting and bigging yourself up, you're an idiot because you're going to come down.
The football gods are watching.
Yeah. So that's what I think's happened to Chelsea this year, because they really gave, like, Liverpool in particular, a load of shit in the summer over signings and stuff, and it was all for nothing. You've just made yourselves look ridiculous. All this boasting and bragging. This player wanted to come here. That's fine. You can have them all, because it turns out it's all wrong anyway. And then we managed to sign Endo for like 20 million or something. And
they've got like a 300 million pound midfield, and it's bang average. Yes, I know I've just said that was one goal. Like, in general, like, say, how can you spend 115 million pounds on, like, Enzo Fernandez, then look better without him? Like, that's worrying. That is worrying.
So I mean, that was that's one that'll be interesting. And Dan, I mean, I wanted to ask you, seeing as you were there, Crystal Palace finishing with an absolute baller of a game at the end of the season. I think I'm just double checking myself, because I've had to a couple of times, pumping Villa 5-0, and I said Mateta and Eze.
Yeah.
And I mean, for next season, do you think that they're going to be challenging that top 10 at the very least?
Why not? They've got to look at the teams around them. They've got to look at the teams like Villa, like Brighton, like Bournemouth, who've performed pretty well this season. If they can keep hold of that core group of players, the Eze, the Matetas, the Elises, then who knows?
Coming to United. Elise is, apparently.
Hannah's doing the Twitter tapping up already.
Unless Palace asks for like 80 million and Sir Jim goes, no, it's too much money.
No,
We're not getting bent over.
I'm drawing my line in the sand. But yeah, Dan's right. They've got a great group of players in that attack there, haven't they?
Yeah. I mean, Mateta has become, this was a weird stat and I didn't even know, but Mateta has become the first Palace player to score a Premier League hat-trick at Selhurst Park.
Whatever.
No way.
Ever.
Oh, Dan out with the great stats. That's mad.
They had Brighty and Righty, though.
It's so strange.
I'd have said Zaha. That's mad. Crazy.
I think when Zaha was there, they never scored more than 2 goals in a game, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, Dan, Chris has asked if Palace changed their manager earlier. Do you think that they would have been higher?
Yeah, potentially. The audit to Roy, I think the audit to him a little bit, but then again, it's one of them in football. There is no loyalty in football. You've got to sometimes put your business head first. Obviously, it's come to a point where Roy probably would have seen the season out if it wasn't for illnesses. But Glasner's come in completely. I wouldn't even say completely changed it. He's just tweaked an odd few things, and it's seemed to have stood them in good stead. If he can get a full pre-season behind him I think Palace will be one of those, pretty solid underdog stories next season.
Like
Do you
Villa.
know?
Yeah.
Do you know what? The only thing I'm hoping is that he's going to change their style of play enough to that they stop being a bogey team for us at Liverpool. Because I hate playing Palace. I hate
There are
playing
bogey
Crystal
team as
Palace.
well.
And so I'm hopefully they change enough that we can actually give it more of a game and it'll be a little bit more like exciting and more likely to win. Because I take this a compliment, Palace fans. I've hated playing you every season since like Brendan Rodgers forgot how to manage a game of football and threw away the victory.
This season.
I do have to say, Villa's defense in that game was absolutely shocking. Yeah, for a team who's been so solid all season, it was almost like they were just
down tools. Like, we've got top four.
I was going to say, do you know whose fault that is? Spurs. Because Spurs had to make sure that City won the league because they could have beaten Man City. If they wanted to, they could have beaten Man City and helped Arsenal win the league, but they didn't because of rivalry. Not because they're pathetic losers, because of rivalry. That's exactly it. And I think if they'd won, Villa would have been a different game, Villa Palace, if there was something riding on it. But they just spoiled it. And Graham hates Palace, but I think as a Charlton fan, mate, it's going to be not enjoyable to watch them next season. I think they shall be the underdogs. And that is the Premier League table as it concludes. Unfortunately, I'll put a little crown on Man City because I'm nice. I got to give credit where credit's due, and that is it. That is a Premier League season ended. We will be doing I probably next week will be like an all-season review, and we'll review some of the predictions that Sam and Charlotte and I made and Lucas at the start of the season, which some of them are quite humorous. But let's say so Man City won the league with Arsenal, Liverpool, and Aston Villa completing the Champions League places. Tottenham in the other Cup, the one that is below the Europa League, and Chelsea in the conference. And we're doing all of these. I think that's right. Am I right, Hannah? You're probably more better than me.
Tottenham and Chelsea in the Europa, Newcastle in the
Europa.
Conference.
That was it.
Unless we win the FA Cup, so I think everyone's safe there. But
you never know. These permutations.
You never know.
And unfortunately, it was a sad day for Sheffield United, Burnley, and Luton Town. As they got relegated back down to the Championship, but they get to play.
Dan, you'll do it again.
I hope so.
You don't find it really interesting? Sorry, not you, Dan. Sorry, you won't find this interesting. But that all the teams that came up have gone straight back down. Like that just hardly ever happens.
I think I predicted it, to be fair, because for me, I thought Sheffield United are no good. I didn't think Luton Town had the financial backing. I think Burnley, I might have had them 17th.
I had Burnley 9th in my predictions. They royally let me down. They made me look like a right idiot.
Hannah, I think you need to write to the Premier League and say that your table's correct.
I had United is 3rd, Burnley is 9th. I think I had.
There's a few questionable ones in there.
13th. I had some wild ones.
Do you know what I think? Because I think everybody in our prediction predicted Burnley to finish outside the relegation spot by quite a bit. But my thing was, I watched this style of play, and I knew Vincent Kompany came from the Pep Guardiola arrogant arsehole school of managerial finishing. So I knew he wasn't going to adjust his style of play and was going to get battered because of it, because you can't play that way when you're a Burnley team. I thought I knew that was going to happen. So that was my feeling. And Simon didn't sharp predict Villa top 4. I think she was about there. The 4th or 5th, I think, of memory serves. And she was laughed at, I'm pretty sure. But as always, Charlotte has the last laugh because she's a genius. And if you don't know that yet, then you need to learn, because your life will be much easier. And Graham said you think it'd be happening more and more. The gap's getting bigger and harder for teams to stay up. And as we said earlier, I think removal of them parachute payments will make teams less inclined to want to invest to try and stay up there, because you'll end up just knackering yourself when you come back down. But that's the last Premier League table for this year. I mean, we'll whiz round you up because most of this is done.
I didn't have to look at this table again. I'm so glad.
I know. I thought you'd be happy. I mean, La Liga. It's got another match week to go next week. But everything's pretty much done. Real Madrid have won. Barcelona are second, and Girona, who fell off, they did put up a valiant battle, but they're third. Atletico were fourth, and none of those things are changing. Really.
Do you guys have Real Madrid to win the Champions League?
Yes, because Carlo Ancelotti's an absolute monster of a
All he
manager.
has to do is go.
Do you know what he does that, and my trousers drop, and I'm done. he's all man. That lad is all man. And there we are. Sorry, it's 1 hour 15 till the real show destroying comments start coming out. Almeida are done, and Granada are done, and Cadiz are done. So I mean, everything's decided pretty much in the Liga. Sam covered it beautifully first last week, so I'm not going to embellish it anymore. Serie A, which I think Spenny fan Chris was keeping us up to date on. I think Juventus, did they draw with Bologna? I'm not sure, Chris. You did show us, and I was paying attention, but I've just completely forgotten.
I think it was.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So what does
Bologna
that
were 3-0 up as well, by the way.
Bottlers.
I tell you what, but I mean, for Bologna to finish, I mean, that puts them in a good running to finish in the top 4, I would say. I'm not sure what Atalanta done. Let's see if I've got any up-to-date results, because who plays games on a Monday? They just spoil it for everybody, don't they?
Hellas Verona also won 2-1 away at Salernitana tonight as well.
Why can everybody say these words correctly and I can't?
You've got Lecce on.
Lecce. 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 Lost 2-0 to Atalanta. Sorry,
Lecce.
Everybody loves a bit of Lecce. I miss that. I love that northern accent. I wish I had one. I don't have an accent.
Yes, you do. You have a strong Welsh accent.
Because I'm a man. I'm a Valleys man. Yeah, so Inter Milan have won that one. I think Milan and Bologna and Juventus potentially all in the top 4, but it doesn't matter because Serie A gets 5 Champions League spaces next season because of the expanded Champions League table, which we might do a show on as we're scrabbling around for content in the summer. There might be something we look to discuss. And so Atalanta are in there, and they're pretty much everybody sorted then, because Roma can't do enough to get up any higher. Salty Nana, Salty Banana, Saltarita. What are they called? Sanctarita, drinking sangria, Salernitana. That's it. Is that it? Salernitana. They're down the bottom. Swathwolo. They're also down there, and Empoli could stay up if they can better Udinese's result on the last day. But other than that, it's done, isn't it? Done. I don't. Great. So you've all got accents apart from me being Dan Scarf, which I just reminds me of Dan Scarf. Which that just reminds me. I thought you were talking about Scar from the Thundercats. Then you won't know that. You won't know Thundercats are. Moving on, because I'm mega old. Bundesliga's done. Leverkusen, the new Invincibles.
Leverkusen.
And they do it properly, only drawing 6 games with a healthy balance of victories there. I mean, Bayern Munich, not even second. Well done, Harry Kane. Well done, Kane. I don't.
I do. I feel for the guy. Like, I know he wouldn't have won anything at Spurs, but he could have come to United and won nothing else too.
It is a little bit sad, but I mean, they signed Eric Dyer as well, so
yeah, you can't defend that. And if they do sign companies, just stuff you can't really defend.
Yeah, so it's get
can't
used to it.
In general, Hannah. Can't defend in general.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why Xavi Alonso said he had a feeling that they might go for it. There we are. Everybody living a bit of the Thundercats. Oh, if you've not seen that, you're missing out on a banging 80s cartoon. That tells you laugh a bit of the South, Graham. Laugh at the South. What else have we got going on? Bundesliga, Darmstadt are down. The first season, up and down, and Cologne, men's Cologne, they're also down as well. And Bochum in the relegation playoffs. I don't know who they're playing because I don't look below the Bundesliga. But Leverkusen, Stuttgart as well, finishing in second. Excellent season from Stuttgart. Really, very impressive. And RB Leipzig and Dortmund, they're all in the Champions League because they get 5 alive as well. Champions League places. And I blame like Arsenal and City for not doing well enough there. And Eintracht Frankfurt are in the one below the Champions League, which I always forget, the Europa League. And Hoffenheim are 7th, just above Heidenheim. All the good names coming out. And what's Dusseldorf? Oh, that's who Dusseldorf are. They're playing. I hope Dusseldorf comes off because that is an awesome word to say. If you just say it, it fills your mouth. Dusseldorf. Sexy times. Really looking forward to that. And that is Bundesliga. Bundesliga's done. The SPFL, haven't got a clue what the hell's going on here. I do not know. Hopefully Charlotte will be here next week and can tell us. I do think is there any more games to play? I'm pretty sure there might be, just to wrap it all up. But Celtic are winning. That is the SPFL. And Eredivisie, that is all done. PSV with a wonderful victory. They're only losing one game, scoring 111 goals in 34 games and only conceding 21. So a goal difference of 90. Wowzers in your trousers.
Best season in Arsenal.
It's mental. How mad is that? Plus 90 goal difference in 34. 111. I think at one stage the average result was 4-0 victory. It's just no, I've done. And Feyenoord.
I would love to know what that feels like.
It's mad, isn't it? All those goals, so many goals. It's
So
just
many goals.
where if you watch Talk Sport, you'll get that. That was on there for years. But Feyenoord have lost Arne. He finished in second position, clear above 20 and third, and he only lost 2 games last season as well. So and Ajax finished with nothing, finishing 5th. No Europe. That'll teach you. You can't see me, Ajax, and you won't be able to see them in any way other than the Eredivisie next season. Utrecht. And if you watch Glass Kingdom on Netflix, you'll get that one. Utrecht is 7th. Sparta Rotterdam in 8th. Go ahead, Eagles in 9th. And in 10th place with Fortuna Sittard in 10th. Gervin in 11th. FC Zwolle in 12th, Almere in 13th, Hercules in 14th, and Walwick survived! Wowie for Walwick, 15th position. They survived relegation. They live to fight another day. Our favourite team name to say, and we get them next season as well. Well done, Walwick. And Excelsior in the relegation playoffs, and then Volendam and Vitesse. Sad to see Vitesse go down, who've been a stalwart in Eredivisie for a long time, but it's your own fault. And Ligue 1, PSG have spoilt it. This can't be right. There's so few games, which makes me think I must have uploaded a wrong graphic here, because that can't be it is. That is well wrong. Ignore that. Fuck the League 1 because I fucked it up anyway. So there we are. So just ignore all of that. Football is done in the Premier League. It isn't the end. It isn't the end of Absolutely Premier League. We will be back next week. We'll probably do a review of the season, a bit more on how everybody did, how we all feel about all the teams. It'll be just Premier League based. We won't go into all the European leagues.
We'll try and be positive there, Josh.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt your outro, but I just wanted to interject. Like the whole Ball Pod team is amazing, but just special shout out to you, Shah and Sam, because you put in so much time behind the scenes like no one else sees, and you just also good at what you do, and we appreciate being part of the team. Just so thanks for bringing us another season of great entertainment, and you put so much into the shows, and I'm sure everyone watching really appreciates it as well. But we appreciate being part of this team, even if Dan is going back down to the lower league. Sorry, Dan.
It's all right.
I've
become accustomed to it.
We appreciate you, and Char and Sam, all 3 of you are just brilliant.
No, that's really sweet. Thank you. It's not easy to and it's not
A
just the
lot of work.
planning. Yeah, I mean, it's because it's not just. I mean, Sam and Charlotte are just they're workhorses. They're absolute machines. I mean, Charlotte to learn so much of Premier League. I'm not well, so the Premier League, the Championship, League One, League
everything.
Two. Then the woman blows my mind as a single mum who works. Who does loads of stuff with her kids. She's a fabulous mother. She does loads of stuff with her kids. She has stuff in her family. And then she's always so positive. Then she comes at the pod and knows everything about everything. It's remarkable. The woman blows my mind. She creates her own graphics for the show, which it's a chunk of time. It's hard work doing that. And she does that. So massive thanks to Charlotte from me. Huge thank you. You know how much I love you and how fantastic I think you are. Just what a human being. She's absolutely sensational. And Sam is just the things he does. I mean, especially this year. I mean, I haven't spoken about it too much, but I've had a lot of mental health and physical health issues this year. I have been tremendously far from 100% for a large portion of this year. And I've lent on Charlotte and Sam too much to be honest with you, to the point that I feel quite guilty about it, but they've been fantastic. And Sam's picked up so much slack in regards to video editing, creating shorts, putting the schedule for everyone together. There's a lot of thankless tasks that he's picked up because I haven't been top draw and able to do it all. So massive thanks to them too, because it wouldn't happen. And to everybody that comes on, yourself, Hannah. I mean, what a coup getting Hannah to be part of the team. We were very excited when she agreed to join us.
I can't believe it's been nearly crazy.
I know it's super. I mean, Dan, Lucas, Rebecca. There's all the names I'm going to forget now because I'm putting myself under pressure to remember everybody.
Next week you can prepare a speech.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, Josh. Really, and as always, you're very selfless, and you always like shout at other people, but we appreciate you as well, especially after you said you've had a bit of a year and you always show up and you always give the best intros that I've ever heard on a podcast ever. And I'm not even being biased, like that's true.
You don't get that shit anyway. But no, I do appreciate it. And to all the team, you're just all lovely. And I'm looking forward to meeting as many of you as possible. When we have a team like that, which I'm not going to advertise with when it is because it's ours. It's something that we're going to be doing for us. But I'm really looking forward to it. And thanks. You can see all of that. And to everybody in the chat, you're all just bloody amazing. All of you. Chris, Simon, Heather, Jen, Sean.
It warms my heart how many of the same names we see every week. It's so the dedication
Mr. Luke.
To watch. Exactly. Yeah. Even you, Simon, even you who loves to hate United, everyone that comes back every week, is amazing. Yeah.
Graham's one-liners, where would we be without it? I don't know. But so a massive thank you. But we're going to be carrying on shows throughout the season, throughout the summer. We're going to be thinking of things to be doing. So let us know if you've got any ideas. Because after season review, Champions League format review, a couple of shows playing games, I'm going to be stumped then for what we're going to do. So let us know. But massive thank you to absolutely everybody. I love all of you tremendously. It's been absolutely sensational. Here's to many, many, many more seasons, although I'm going to be very old if we continue for too long. But thank you all very much. Have a lovely evening, everybody. Don't forget the big thing. If you haven't done yet, please follow all the socials at Absolute Football Pod on Twitter, at Absolute Football Podcast on YouTube and Twitch, Absolute Football Pod on TikTok, Absolute Football Podcast _ on Fez, and Instagram, Absolute Football Podcast on Facebook. Wednesday, absolutely WSL Women's Football, 8:30, and the Rowdy Rabble of the Lower League on a Thursday at 8:30. Please check them all out. Make sure that you've subscribed, because every time you hit the subscribe button, an angel gets its wings, which is just beautiful to see. 5 stars. Tell all of your friends, tell all of your enemies. Follow us. We love you all. TTFN and Tata